Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Ghanaians. Welcome back to Daily Rants Ghana. My name is Emmanuel. Today, I don't know whether to say what I'm excited or sad about what I'm coming to discuss with you. I'm coming to talk about the growth difference between South Korea and Ghana. Now, remember, these countries, as of independence, as of 1960. So I took the analysis from 1960 to 2022. All right. So 1960, Ghana was just a young nation, which was just 3 years old, and South Korea was also around the same time they had their independence. So it makes sense to compare these two countries and the trajectory they've been through for the years. All right, so make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video and it's going to blow your mind. Okay, get your comments coming, subscribe to this channel, like this video. Let's get into it. So, I have been a very big advocate for indigenous growth, focusing on indigenous Ghanaian businesses to spur economic growth. I've been a very big advocate for looking into focusing and supporting Ghanaian businesses as opposed to foreign direct investment, because when something happens, when push comes to shove, the foreign direct investor will pull out their money and run away to their country. So I'm not a big fan of foreign direct investors. They can complement the private sector, but they should not be the direct, drive of our economy. That has been my mindset all throughout. So today, as I promised, we'll quickly go into the analysis and then see for yourself what is happening between Ghana, what we have done wrong and what South Korea has done right. Okay, so let's go straight away. So this is this is Ghana. Okay, this is Ghana's economy as of 1960. So if you look at this is the chart. Okay, starting from the 1960 up to 2022. Okay, if you want, you can also show the table. That's the GDP per capita of Ghana, the year, the GDP per capita, and then the annual growth. Okay, now when we talk of GDP per capita, we're talking about if you divide the GDP of the country over the total population, how much each and everyone will get at the end of the day. So that's what we mean by GDP per capita. Now, Ghana's GDP per capita as of 2021 was 2,445. So it means that Ghana, if we share it for all the population, each and everyone should get 245, and that is without the debt. Okay, so I don't want us to have some fantasy things, because right now Ghana's debt stock stands to about 83% of GDP, but we don't want to talk about that right now. So I want to talk about how the economic trend and growth that has happened between South Korea and then Ghana. And also, for fairness sake, look at South Korea's South Korea GDP per capita. Okay, and if you look at it as of 2021, South Korea's GDP per capita is 34,000. Ghana's is 2,400. This is 34,700. Now, let's go down to 1960. And that's why you see interesting thing. This is 1960. As of 1960, GDP per capita for South Korea was 158. The economy was growing at negative 40.71%. Now, this is a country that was really poor. Look at Ghana's. Ghana's own was 183. So we were better off in terms of GDP per capita than South Korea. Okay. And then if you look at the trajectory, let's go back to the map. If you look at the graph here, the trajectory of Ghana GDP, we were slowly increasing over the years, and these are the years, through the 1960s to 1970s to 1980s, where we're having a lot of coup d'etat and all those, and the economy was stagnating, and that was what was happening. And that's why personally I'm so surprised about what we did to President Nkrumah, because the guy was on the right path. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So through the 1990s, it was a stagnated economy. If you realize, the economy never moved from here to here beyond. It was just within the 500% mark. That's it. So we're just within stagnating up until 2005, where real growth started. Okay, and then now we are at 2,400. Okay, let's look at South Korea. Now, in South Korea, their economy was also stagnating in the 70s. But if you look at it, there's right from the 70s, you could see that there's a steady upwards trajectory. Okay, it was going up. So as of the 1980s, their GDP was around 5,800. They have managed to move the economy from 158 to 5,800. Okay, in the 1980s. Now let's go to Ghana. What was happening in Ghana around the 1980s? We were still stagnating. When South Korea was doing the 5,000s per capita, we were just doing the 300s. We were stagnating. And then it continues. For South Korea, it continues upwards up until 2021, where they have 34,000, almost 35,000. Now, during the height of COVID season, of course, their GDP shrunk, of course, but so they lost some sort of GDP small, but it wasn't much anyway. So if you go to South Korea right now, if you are sharing their GDP among themselves, they'll get, each and every one of them will get $34,000, whilst in Ghana will get $32,000. And this is a country that we were richer than, we're better off than during independence. So we're more or less on the same level, but Ghana was better, and then we just took off. Okay, but I will tell you what they did better, in a jiffy. I'll tell you what they did well that Ghana didn't do well. So during the 1970s, a coup d'etat happened in South Korea, where the new leader, took power through coup. So the same thing that was happening in Ghana was happening there. There was multiple series of coup d'etat. Okay, and the last coup d'etat leader said that, look, something is going to happen. So they did three things. First, they started building robust local businesses. Second, they started changing their educational curricula to suit the new agenda. Third, is what they did was that they started war on corruption. So these three things is what changed. So if you look at the trend we looked at from the 1970s onwards, South Korea was looking upwards. Okay, they started massive development. They moved from $300 per capita to 5,000. Something significant happened around that time. Now that is what I'm coming to say. So they had what the government realized is that they said, oh look, there's a number of family businesses that were happening, and these family businesses, some of them, just a few of them, are Hyundai, LG, Samsung. Are they familiar? Now, LG, Samsung, and Hyundai products are all over the world. Probably the phone that you are using, in fact, the phone I'm using to shoot this video is Samsung. This is a byproduct of South Korea. And this idea was hatched in the late 70s. And that now it's all over the world. They're all over the world, and they've taken over. Probably the TV in your room is LG. Probably the car you are driving is either Hyundai Sonata or Hyundai Elantra. This is South Korea's mentality and what they did. So the government started backing those small family businesses. They call them the chaebols. Okay, small family businesses, and the government asked them to compete with each other. The government backed them. So Hyundai was originally into construction, then they diverted into automobiles and electronics. Samsung started doing their own thing, LG started doing their own thing. and the government backed them. It's not only these three companies, there are lots. Okay, so let's say in the context of Ghana, we'll say that companies like, let's say Zoom's Lion, let's say companies like Despite Group of Company, let's say the other companies like Melcom, and then the government, all these family businesses, the moment you start indigenous, so far as it is indigenous business, the government will back you. The government will make sure that he seals other ports of import so that you don't have competition from abroad. The only competition is that the competition is happening from within. And of course, it helps with innovation and all that. And these products, people were protected. And that is what I've been advocating all the time, that this is what Ghana should be looking at. We should be looking at giving the private sector the strength to the ease. The government should do everything in their power to support the private sector to easily do businesses. In Ghana right now, if you want to register a business, it will take you like 3 months to just have a business certificate. 3 months? I mean, people are doing it in 2 days, in 24 hours, in 48 hours in other countries. Why does it have to take you 3 months? When you start a business right now, the GRA will come after you with taxes, and it will cripple you. You can't even take off. There's so much administrative bottleneck everywhere you pass. Somebody is taking money from somewhere, from you. It makes making businesses in Ghana extremely difficult. So this is what the government should focus on. That look, we want to make Ghana the hub of startup companies in Africa. We want to make Ghana the hub of private engineering, private businesses. I am not in favor of government, starting businesses. The government should never be involved in businesses, because anything the government touches, they destroy it. They don't do it well. If you don't know, check all the government companies like the railways, the Ghana Telecom. All of them has been destroyed because they use politics to destroy. So I'm not in favor of that, but I'm in favor of government supporting the private sector to open up. US started something like Silicon Valley. Right now, China is also doing something similar, and they are taking over the world right now. Silicon Valley, out of Silicon Valley, that's where we have Microsoft, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Tesla. Like, plenty global businesses has come out of it, and this trend is there. So what in Ghana like this? What is the global business that we are looking at? What are we saying that in the next 10, 15, 20 years we should have an even not global giant company, we should have an African giant companies, 10, 5, 20, 15 of them coming from Ghana. That should be the plan, and should be committed to it. It should be a bipartisan agreement from the NDC, from the MPP side, saying that look, we need to support our local businesses. Kantanka started building cars and nobody was minding him. What a surprise! What a surprise! Kumasi Shoe Factory, ex-president Mahama asked them that, told the Ghana Police Service to source all their boots from Kumasi Shoe Factory rather than exporting. They ignored the president, and the president did nothing about it. All right. So this is the problem I have. When Tata started in India, the government of India took over Tata, and started supporting the man. And so if you look at India, if you've ever watched an Indian film, you realize that all the Indian security apparatus, they use Tata. This is what we could have done for Kantanka. They're like, all security apparatus, all the security Ghana police car will be manufactured in Ghana. We will not import anything. Gradually, they'll be expanding. We should be doing this. Anyway, that is what the South Korea did first. The second one was to change their curriculum into focusing on financing these into focusing on supporting these companies. So they changed from theoretical based to practical based to vocational training based. So they started training more electricians, more engineers. They started training the technical skills that was needed to build this economy, to help with those companies also. Until today, the 1960 curriculum, we are still using it today in Ghana. And if you are surprised that no innovation is going on, it's because we have to. Every nation building is agenda driven. You must be conscious. You must be intentional about it. Some other things will suffer, yes, but because of intentions, you are directly driven. And then you tune your education system. Go to K University, go to Legon. Engineering students don't even have apparatus to train with. If you go to their laboratories, it's an eyesore. Nothing is there. Things that are there are updated. They are not used. Come on. We should do something. This is nation building. Because when a Ghanaian graduates and comes out of college or university, and there's like 10% chance that he will ever get a job. There's about 90% chance that he will never ever get a job unless they travel. And most of our graduates are moving and traveling outside their country in their masses. It's so sad. It's so sad. We can't continue on this trajectory, and we need to do something about it. The third thing they did was to declare war on corruption. I'm telling you, Africans' biggest problem has been corruption and bad leadership. And until we resolve the corruption issue, we cannot, follow the trajectory of South Korea. Today, South Korea, they are enjoying. They are like Singapore has also seen the same thing and followed it, and they are out of poverty now. Malaysia has seen it, they followed, they are out of poverty now. All the Asian tigers, they are all following the same. And today, even Vietnam that nobody respected, Vietnam is now following. Thailand is doing the same thing. Only Africans, just say, when the world has seen a bigger party in their feast, Africans are just doing something that I don't understand. So this is my 2 cents on this. This is Daily Rant Ghana. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and let me know what you think about what we just said right now. Until then, see you.